Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
So I have some pre-trial matters before we get, and Ms. Hagan, you're going to join us for the formal hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just in a conference room right down the hall, so I'm available
Okay.
whenever we're done.
I don't know where anybody is anymore.
No problem.
So I'm not sure. So let's go on the record in docket 220118. That's City of Lansing versus Julian Garcia. Will the parties, let me make sure I've got my stamp working. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Lisa Hagan Lawrence, Deputy City Attorney, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And you are Sir Julian Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Can you hear me all right, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you are not represented by counsel today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Hagan, this is the time set for the pre-trial in the matter. How are we proceeding? And have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Garcia?
Your Honor, I've spoken with Mr. Garcia briefly via email in advance of the hearing, but if we could get a breakout room to just discuss a couple of matters, that would be very helpful.
Mr. Garcia, Ms. Hagan Lawrence is going to meet with you in a breakout room to discuss this matter, and I will put you in the breakout room with her. Okay, sir?
Sounds good, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So I'll have Mr. Garcia and Ms. Hagan Lawrence put in breakout room 1, and they are. Thank you, Nathaniel. Ms. Sutter, who from your office is here on Nickerson?
Your Honor, that's Ms. Robinson.
All right, that's Aaron. And then you're here on Mr. Pruitt?
That's Ms. Robinson as well.
All right,
believe-
thanks. I was just making sure I knew who was on the case. How are you, Aaron?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. So the city attorney's in a breakout room, and we'll call up your cases next when she's out. Yeah. So we're back on the record in docket 22011118. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Garcia in the breakout room?
I have, Your Honor. Thank you. At this time, Mr. Garcia and I would be requesting that this matter be set for a plea hearing in 30 days We are close to a resolution on this matter. Mr. Garcia is doing some pretrial community service in order to come to a resolution, and he just needs a little bit more time. And so we think a plea hearing in 30 days would give him that adequate time to complete that.
All right, we need a plea hearing date. August 2nd at 9:30.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Garcia, you're supposed to be back here on August 2nd at 9:30. Do you have that date?
Yes, Your Honor. Let me write that down
Oh.
real quick.
All right, so August 2nd at 9:30. We'll see you back here. Anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. That's all for the record in 22-01118. And then we have (22-01141). We have some time for that, I think. We have Mr. Nickerson and Mr. Pruitt. And I don't see either one of them here, but we have 15 minutes on both. So I'll wait till 9:15 to call those cases. Is there a Mr. Pruitt or Nickerson in the courtroom? All right.
Your Honor, if it's okay with you, I'm going to jump off of Zoom real quick and speak with my officer for the formal hearing, as well as my witness, just a couple of preliminary matters, and then I will jump back on before 9:15 if somebody appears.
That sounds great.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Garcia, you're all set. You can leave the Zoom courtroom.
I was just about to ask that, Your Honor. Thank you so much. You have a
All
good
right.
day.
I know it's compelling, but
Understood.
thank you, sir.
All right. You have yourself a good day.
You too. They're not connected, are they? Just in case that's Mr. Nickerson or Pruitt, let's see if we can. It's not Mr. Pruitt. It's not Mr. Pruitt. Okay. Sir, can you
Hello?
identify yourself on, the Galaxy?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you sure can.
Oh, I couldn't.
What's your
Dakota
what's your name,
Morales.
sir?
Dakota Morales.
Oh, okay. You're here for your 9:30, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. We've got a couple of cases and a formal hearing to go in front of you. But you're in the right place, all right?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. All right, thank you. And you're live in the courtroom, so just so you know, you might want to mute yourself.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's go on the record in docket 22-0111144. People, the state of City of Lansing versus Luke A. Nickerson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan-Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Nickerson.
Right, this is the time set for a pre-trial on the City of Lansing versus Luke Nickerson. This was set for 9 o'clock. It's now 9:16. Miss Hagan-Lawrence, how would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. It appears that this is not the first failure to appear on this file, if my notes are correct. Therefore, the city would request an immediate bench warrant be issued.
Ms. Robinson, any comment?
Your Honor, I would just ask that a 48-hour hold be put in place for Mr. Nickerson.
Right, I have a prior fail to appear out of May 23rd, 2022, and a 48-hour hold was placed at that time. I'm not able to do it a second time. So the pretrial was held, bench warrant bond forfeiture, DFTA today. Anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan-Lawrence?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
And then I'll also call to the record docket 22-01637. That's City of Lansing versus Edric S. Pruitt. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan-Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Ms. Robinson?
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Pruitt.
And this is the time set for a pre-trial on this matter. It is 9:17. The case was due at 9 a.m. Ms. Hagan-Lawrence, how are we proceeding in this case?
Thank you, Your Honor. This appears to be the first failure to appear on this file in terms of a case where the city has appeared. Therefore, we'd be requesting a bench warrant bond forfeiture, but with a 48-hour.
Any comment, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
This is the first bench warrant bond forfeiture. Defendant failed to appear, and so the court will place a 48-hour hold pursuant to the statute on Mr. Pruitt, and so so the warrant won't go out for 48 hours. Anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan-Lawrence?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. And so we're on the record in, this is a ticket, 22L270991. Ms. Payout, Virginia Payout. Okay, you can come up and have a seat right here. This is the time set for a formal hearing in this matter. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan-Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And ma'am, you are Virginia Payout? Okay. And Ms. Payout, I'm gonna have you speak up a little bit because we're recording, okay?
Okay,
And you can hear me all right?
yes.
All right. And you're not represented by counsel today?
Unfortunately, the state didn't have representation.
Okay. All right. Ms. Hagan-Lawrence, how are we proceeding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll be proceeding with a formal hearing this morning.
Okay. then the state can make a brief opening statement if they want, or you can call your first witness.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Are you ready at this time?
I am.
Thank you. Just briefly, Your Honor, this is a citation for failure to yield resulting in an accident. There is a witness here present who viewed the accident, as well as the investigating officer who issued a subpoena, a citation for this. I think you'll find beyond a preponderance of the evidence that Ms. Piak did in fact fail to yield, causing an accident.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hagan Lawrence. Ms. Piak, I'll give you the opportunity to give an opening statement after the prosecutor makes their proofs, okay?
Okay.
And of course, you'll have the opportunity to cross-examine any of their witnesses or ask them questions, all right?
Okay.
All right. You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the city would call Thomas Allen Wright.
And Mr. Allen Wright, I'm going to have you stand right in front of me, right here in front of me, so we can swear you in on the record, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can have a seat right here, sir. Thank you. And you may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Wright. On March 8, 2022, around 10 a.m., were you in the area of Martin Luther King Boulevard and Miller Road in the city of Lansing? Where were you?
I was at the Quality Dairy Pumping Gas.
Okay. While you were at the Quality Dairy Pumping Gas, did you witness a car accident?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell the court what you saw?
I saw a car pulling out onto MLK from Quality Dairy, and she was turning south. And she pulled out into the center lane and pulled out in front of the Jeep that was coming this way.
Okay, so just to confirm, the vehicle that you saw was exiting the Quality Dairy parking lot
Yes, ma'am.
and would have crossed the traffic in order to get to the turn lane
Yes,
and then merged into the travel lane and hit a vehicle who was established in the lane?
yes,
Okay. Did you see both drivers of the vehicles?
yes.
Can you identify who the driver was who you described pulled out in front of the vehicle?
This is the lady here.
Okay. Did you give a statement to police regarding this?
Yes, I-
And that statement's consistent with what you've told the court here today?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I do not have any additional questions for you at this time.
Cross-examination, ma'am? Do you have any questions for the witness?
I was just wondering if you see that officer here in the courtroom.
I do not.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I would request the witness be excused from his subpoena.
Yes, only one question. So the person you identified is in the courtroom. It's the person in the Adidas shirt right here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant, and without any more questions, the witness is excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Reed?
You can go ahead to that office.
Okay. Thank you.
At this time, the court would call Officer Eric McDowell.
Officer McDowell, I'll have you stand right in front of me and I'll swear you in. Eric McDowell, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead and have a seat, sir.
Good morning, Officer McDowell. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Who do you work for?
Lansing.
And what is your position with the Lansing
I
Police?
work for the motor traffic.
Could you speak up just a little for
I
me?
work for the traffic enforcement.
Thank you. Were you on patrol March 8th, 2022 in the daytime around 9 or 10 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you dispatched to an accident?
Yes, ma'am.
As part of your training and experience as a Lansing Police Department officer, are you trained regarding the various provisions of the motor vehicle code? When you arrived at, let me back up. Just to confirm, the location that you were dispatched to was Martin Luther King Miller Road in the city of Lansing, County of Ingham, state of Michigan.
Yes,
Okay. Did you conduct an investigation as to who was at fault for that accident? What did you do in terms of that investigation?
I spoke with both of the parties involved in the accident, as well as an independent witness.
So after speaking with both the driver of both vehicles, as well as a witness who saw the accident, did you determine who was at fault for the collision?
Yes,
And who was that?
Regina Piak.
Is Ms. Piak in the courtroom today?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please point her out?
Female, was terrified.
Thank you. For the record, Your Honor, he's identified Ms. Piak.
The record may so reflect.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Thank you. Officer McDowell, did you issue a citation to Ms. Piak for the accident?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
I'm going to hand you what's referred to as People's Exhibit Number 1. What is the document I just handed to you?
It's a citation.
Is this, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, traffic citations.
And what is the charge that you wrote?
Failed to yield resulting in an accident.
Is a copy of this citation kept in the regular course of your employment with the Lansing Police Department? Your Honor, I move to admit People's Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, she's moving to admit the exhibit as evidence. Any objection to that? Correct. So do you have any objection to her admitting the evidence?
Like, you think that one?
Okay, so exhibit 1 is admitted into evidence.
Officer McDowell, I do not have any more questions for you at this time.
Okay.
You may have some questions from the
Yeah,
defense.
so Ms. Piak, this is the time that you can cross-examine the officer concerning the exhibit or anything that was indicated at the scene.
Are these the two people in the courtroom that you?
That's a no, sir.
No,
Okay.
Did you pick up my bumper and stuff and move it out there in the area and stuff like that?
yeah, I helped you with your bumper.
Okay, and I'll have you, I'll have you just raise your voices a little bit
Okay.
so we can record. But I think the question asked, did you move my bumper? And you said
Yeah,
yes.
yes, Your Honor. And I said, yeah, I helped her. I assisted her put her bumper in a car.
Okay.
Okay. Do you work any other areas?
I work in the city of Lansing.
That's in you?
The whole city.
Okay.
Okay. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor,
All right. May this witness be excused?
the city would request. please.
All right. With no objection, this witness is excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, at this time, the city rests.
Ms. Payak, did you want to provide any evidence or did you want to testify today?
I guess I can testify.
All right, I'm gonna have you come in front of me. And I'm gonna have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? All right, now, you can have a seat right at the chair. And we can do this since we don't have a lawyer present, I'm gonna have you just indicate your side of the story, okay?
Okay.
But you can sit down, so, and that voice is perfect. So go ahead, and then I'll allow the city attorney to ask you some questions, but go ahead and tell your side of the story.
Okay, I was merging into the lane. And then I believe somebody, this isn't the driver of the car that was there. Either one of them are the driver.
I don't know if any of the people in the back are identified as witnesses, are they?
No, Your Honor, the city is not calling the driver of the vehicle.
Okay,
Basically, I'm saying that the bumper was an illegal type of bumper.
okay.
And to my knowledge, the person.
And that's the bumper on your car, or the bumper on the opposing car? Okay,
I later then saw them in St. John's after the fact.
you saw the car with the bumper in St. John's, okay.
So I can't say if they use the correct driver's license or not. Driver's license. And I can't really say this is the officer that was because I believe he was much younger.
All right. Anything else concerning the ticket or the incident itself?
No, I just didn't want to be sued for something like have a claim or a medical issue or somebody else down the road or something.
Okay.
I don't know why, you know, why it's in there.
All right, Ms. Beck, anything else?
No, I was just in the turn lane and I got clipped in the side.
Okay,
I mean, I wasn't really speeding or anything. Can't really speed. Just pulling out of it.
Ms. Hagan Lawrence, any cross-examination?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Just to confirm, Ms. Piak, it's true that on March 8, 2022, at Miller and King, you were driving your vehicle and involved in an accident.
Yeah, I was kind of blown into the lane a little bit.
So,
Possibly,
so you went into the lane and an accident occurred.
possibly somebody was on the side of the road, possibly.
I've got no further questions, Your Honor.
May the witness be excused?
I did not call.
You,
this
you
witness,
did.
Your Honor.
Ms. Piak, you can be excused, thank you. And I'm assuming you have no objection.
Correct.
Any further proofs, Ms. Piak?
No, my car is a total loss.
Okay.
So
All right.
the insurance company will deal with it on the other side.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any rebuttal witnesses? Ms. Piak, we still have to finish the case, so go ahead, have a seat.
No, Your Honor. Thank
Right.
you.
Any summation?
Yes, just very briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Piak herself has admitted that she was driving the vehicle at the time and location of the accident. There is an independent witness who has no stake in what happens today, who has testified that Ms. Piak exited the turn lane and into another vehicle who was already established in that lane. That statement was confirmed by the officer on scene who issued a citation. As it pertains to the other driver of the vehicle, the city's position is that unfortunately he was not responsive to a subpoena. However, the burden of proof in a formal hearing, as you know, is a preponderance of the evidence, and given the testimony of the independent witness as well as the investigating officer, I would submit to you that that is sufficient for a finding of responsibility to that failure to yield, causing an accident.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hagan Lawrence. Ms. Piak, anything in regards to summation you'd like to, this is the chance for you to argue your side of the case to the court.
Well, I think my car's been kind of switched multiple times, and I'm gonna say that my car is not silver.
I didn't get the end of it.
My appropriate part is not silver. It's,
Okay,
and I believe that some of my parts or some of the parts have been removed and replaced, and it might be involved in other issues.
so the indication is that this was not your car on that date?
What I'm saying is that I think what was going on at the graphics, possibly bits and pieces have been parted out differently
Okay,
and switched. I know like the tires have been switched multiple times. And then it was again hit again later after the fact, so. I think people caught, but
All right, the standard for a citation ticket is for the formal hearing is probable cause. Probable cause, of course, being the second lowest standard in our criminal justice system. Reasonable suspicion under Terry being the lowest, beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a conviction, is the highest. And probable cause is the charging, essentially the charging. And this is preponderance. So it's just, this is more likely than not under the civil standard that we have, which is a negligence standard. So that's the application of the law. The law here is City Ordinance 5.41, failed to yield an accident. And by preponderance of the evidence, I find we don't have any dispute as to the location, the venue, ID, or the date. Okay, so location of Miller and King, there doesn't seem to be any dispute. Identification does not seem to be as dispute, as both witnesses identified the defendant in the courtroom as the person who was involved in the accident. The date of March 8th, 2022 is not in dispute. And then the jurisdiction or venue, which is City of Lansing, is not in dispute. So it's the fail to yield as an accident is the only offenses. We had one independent witness who indicated that Ms. Payak's car was involved in a crash that where they entered a lane that they were not supposed to be in, and then hit another car, and he actually reported it to law enforcement. The determination of fault, along with his testimony, I'm assuming the other driver's testimony, but they weren't here to testify, but the other driver, then it comes down to Officer McDowell, who indicates that by preponderance of the evidence he found that he ticketed Ms. Payak in regards to the car based on what was told to him and based on what he saw at the scene. Ms. Payak testified on behalf of the defense. She indicates that she disputed the officer's findings. But she did indicate that she was there. She did drive the car, and she was in the lane that was in the accident. So that part of the elements are all met. So I find by preponderance the evidence that the responsibility of Virginia Ann Payak was responsible for fail to yield ordinance under 5.41. The fines in this matter, we just got them updated. So it's a $130 fine. So I do find Ms. Payak responsible for fail to yield. It's a $130 fine to the City of Lansing. Ma'am, how soon can you start to make payments in regards to that fine?
Probably today, but I'm gonna have to make payments because at this time, people have my identification at the moment and certain birth certificates and stuff like that.
So let's do this. I'm gonna have you report to the City of Lansing criminal division, and you can start setting up a payment. Whatever you can pay today would be fine, and then you can set up. I'll give you 60 days to pay it. Okay. But if you go to the city and you tell them that you were just found responsible for the ticket, you need to set up a plan, and you can tell them I gave you 60 days. Okay.
Okay. My question is somebody available in this courtroom if this goes farther into the different courts for something?
If you want to appeal, you can appeal it to circuit court, I believe.
I don't really think it's going to be that kind of an issue. So I'm not denying that I was there, but I think there's other people involved in the issue.
Yeah. So
that you're not in charge.
Right. I fully understand. The next level concerning would probably be to look at an appellate review of the decision, or to contact one of the agencies that oversee the police. Okay. All right. But so I'll allow 60 days for a $130 fine. Go to the desk right here, and you can figure out the payment system.
Okay.
Anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan?
Nothing from the city, Your Honor.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Ms. Piot, good luck to you. Okay. All right. Make some notes, and then I think we have a 9:30 we're waiting on, right?
Mr. Brown,
Okay. Is that Ms. Sutter or Ms. Robinson?
I don't think he has.
Okay.
It's not on the docket.
Ms. Sutter or Ms. Robinson, are you here on Mr. Morellis?
I am here for Mr. Morellis, Your Honor.
All right, let's go ahead and call that case to the record. So we're on the record in docket. Let's start with the first one, 22-01078, City of Lansing versus Dakota J. Morellis. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, appearing for Mr. Morellis, who is present via Zoom.
All right, and sir, you are Dakota Morellis?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Judge?
And you, good, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Morellis?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we, this is the time set for a pretrial on this first file, and then there's 2 accompanying tickets, but we're doing the first file. How are we proceeding today?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've had an opportunity to confer briefly with Ms. Sutter about this case. She would be requesting a 30-day adjournment to work out some license issues. Some of these issues may have already been corrected, but that's something we'll iron out in the next 30 days. The city has no objection to a 30-day adjournment.
And Ms. Sutter, is that your understanding of how we're proceeding today?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, so requesting a 30-day adjournment for compliance reasons and discovery, pretty much.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So the next court date would be August 2nd at 8:30. Mr. Morales, you understand that the next court date, and you can attend by Zoom, would be August 2nd at 8:30?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that would give you any time to comply with anything that your lawyer or Ms. Hagan Lawrence is requesting. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so our next date is August 2nd at 8:30. If you have any questions, please contact your public defender, Ms. Lawrence Sutter, okay?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
I have nothing further. Thank you.
All right, that's all for the record, 22-01078, and the accompanying tickets of 22L2715092 and 093. Mr. Morales, you're free to leave. Have a nice day.
Appreciate it. You too, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Hold on.
All right, we're on the record in docket 20-01001. City of Lansing versus John Brown. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence, appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And sir, you are John Brown?
Yes,
On
sir.
the iPad? All
Yes,
right.
sir.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the time set up in a pretrial on this matter. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we proceeding today?
Yes, Your Honor. It appears that Mr. Brown is unrepresented. I've not had an opportunity to speak with him. If he is unrepresented, I would certainly be willing to talk to him. I think we're both here in person, but I want to make sure that he's not represented.
Right. So, Mr. Brown, it's my understanding that you are not represented by counsel today,
No, sir.
and the file would indicate for the record that you did apply for public defender, request for public defender, and that request was denied. So you're unrepresented by counsel, and do you plan to retain a lawyer in this case?
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try?
Yes, sir.
There's there's two things we can do today. Being unrepresented, there's certain legal obstacles that you may have in speaking with the city attorney, but if you're comfortable, you can speak with the city attorney without a lawyer present. It's done. It's not a unique thing. It's done on multiple occasions in order to see if you can resolve the case. The other thing I can do is adjourn this for a period of time so that you can get a lawyer, so that you're more comfortable in speaking with the city attorney through your lawyer. Do you have a preference on how you'd like to proceed today?
Yes, I would like to go ahead with it.
So when you say go ahead with it, you'd prefer to just talk to the city attorney yourself, or would you like to prefer to get a lawyer yourself for today?
I will talk to him myself.
All right. So I'm going to, you're both here in the world of Zoom. I'm going to have the assistant city attorney come talk to you because you're right here, and then we'll go back on the record in your case. All right.
Okay.
All right. Just make sure your iPad's on mute so we can't hear what you're talking about.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, that'll do it if you just. Mr. Lixie, you're here as the interpreter for Rodriguez Islas case?
Yes.
All right. We're going to call one case. We have right now the city attorney's in a breakout room, and then we're going to call one case, and then we'll use your services probably in about 5-10 minutes, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. You're definitely in the right place, all right?
Okay, good.
All right. Thank you. All right, we're gonna go back on the record in docket 20-1001. That's City of Lansing versus John Brown. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Brown in the breakout room.
I did, Your Honor.
How are we proceeding?
Thank you. Mr. Brown and I discussed various options in this case. At this time, I have extended an offer. However, Mr. Brown has indicated that, his financial situation may have changed since the time he applied for a court-appointed attorney, and he would appreciate another opportunity to reapply to see if that can be approved. Therefore, at this time, we'd be requesting an adjournment for 45 days so that he can reapply and see if a public defender is appropriate for this case.
All right, it's my understanding, Mr. Brown, that there has been an offer made, but you'd like to speak to somebody from the public defender's office to make reapplication because some of your financial status has changed. And so we're going to adjourn this matter so that possibly you can apply to the public defender's office for representation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll adjourn this matter to, what's a good date? August 16th at 9 a.m. So you can be back via Zoom on August 16th at 9 a.m. And if you go to the public defender's office, make sure they know that date. Okay, that'll give them the date that they're responsible for. Okay,
August 16th.
August 16th at 9 a.m. Will you write them notice of that? My court officer will provide you notice of that, so you'll have the date.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, so Mr. Brown, we'll see you back in court on August 16th, 2022 at 9 a.m. And hopefully with a public defender present, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. That's all on the record of 20-1001. And you're free to leave, Mr. Brown.
Okay, thank you.
Warren's here. I don't know who represents Mr. Carr.
So yeah, let's put Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Lixie and Ms. Sutter, are you on the Rodriguez case?
I am, Your Honor.
Why don't we do this? Let's put yourself and Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Lixie in a breakout room so you can talk about the case first. We might be shuttling a little, unless you want to talk to Ms. Hagan Lawrence first.
I suspect talking to Mr. Rodriguez will be most helpful first.
All right, so let's put Mr. Lixie, Mr. Rodriguez, and Ms. Sutter in a breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm going to readmit Mr. Lixie. Is he here twice?
It's like he's on twice.
Yep. You want to put both of them in the breakout room?
Miss Sutter, I just want to rejoin that room you're in.
Yep, thank you.
You want my, but Mr. Lixie too? Okay,
Thank
now
you.
they're both in.
He got rid of the second one.
Ms. Robinson, are you here on the car matter?
I am, Your Honor.
We can probably call that case. So there are two matters we can call that are set for pretrial. Docket 20-02827 and docket 20-02832. That's City of Lansing versus a Kia car. So I'll do the first one. And will the parties please indicate themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Carr.
And this is the time set for pre-trial at 9:30. It's now 10:09. I've checked the Zoom court, the actual courtroom, and nobody's in the actual courtroom, the Zoom courtroom, and I do not see Ms. Carr, and nor have I seen a Kia car all morning. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. This appears to be the first failure to appear in regards to these cases. The city would request a bench warrant bond forfeiture, but with a 48-hour hold.
Any response, Ms. Robinson?
Your Honor, I know that Ms. Carr had another court date this morning at 8:30 out in 55th. So it's possible, that she may be running late with that. I did send a message to her attorney on that case, asking her to contact me as soon as she can. So it may just be that she's running late, but I would just ask for the 48-hour hold to be put into effect.
I will grant the bench warrant bond forfeiture. Of course, it'll have the 48-hour hold in regards to going into effect in case she's in another courtroom, or if there are no prior FTAs on neither one of these files. So anything else for the record on 20-02827 or 20-02832? Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. So both those files have a bench warrant, but there's a 48-hour hold on them. And we will wait for the Rodriguez case. All right, Ms. Sutter, you've had the opportunity to speak with your client and Mr. Lixie, the interpreter, in a breakout room.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you need to speak with Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
Nope, I already did, Your Honor. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So I'm going to call to the record. First of all, let's go ahead and swear in the interpreter. So that, and then you can indicate anything for the record. And Mr. Rodriguez is on our iPad. So I'm gonna have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will make a true and understandable interpretation to the witness in the courtroom and that you will accurately interpret the statements made by the witness to the best of your ability? All right, thank you, Mr. Lixie. All right, we'll call to the record docket 18-00294, City of Lansing versus Altalbe Rodriguez Islas. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Hemos iniciado la sesión en el caso 18-002-94 OD, con el caso de la ciudad de Lansing contra Heriberto Rodríguez Islas. Preséntense, por favor.
Thank you. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Fiscal auxiliar de la ciudad de Lansing, Lisa Hagan Lawrence.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter for Mr. Rodriguez Islas.
Soy Lauren Sutter de la Defensoría Pública para el señor Rodríguez Islas.
You are Rodriguez Islas?
¿Usted es el señor Rodríguez Islas?
Sí.
Yes.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Rodriguez Islas?
¿Y usted me puede escuchar bien, señor Rodríguez Islas?
Sí.
Yes.
This is the time set for a pretrial in this matter. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we proceeding?
Eso es la hora y fecha programados para una audiencia antes del juicio. Señor Hagan Lawrence, ¿qué vamos a hacer?
Thank you, Your Honor. I have made an offer to Ms. Sutter to resolve this case. It's my understanding that the defendant wishes to accept responsibility to careless driving.
Gracias, su señoría. He presentado una oferta a la señora Sutter y tengo entendido que el acusado quiere aceptar la oferta. Sería un cargo de manejar con imprudencia.
And that is correct, Your Honor.
Eso es cierto, su señoría.
And what is the, Ms. Hagan Lawrence, what is the TAC code or the motor vehicle code for the civil infraction of careless driving?
¿Cuál es el código para esa infracción?
Your Honor, it's 257.626B. It's a 3-point civil infraction.
257.626B es de 3 puntos.
Ms. Sutter, may I make inquiry of your client in regards to the civil infraction?
Señora Sutter, ¿puedo hacerle preguntas a su cliente sobre esta infracción civil?
Yes, Your Honor.
Adelante, su señoría.
So, Mr. Rodriguez Islas, it's my understanding that you will be admitting responsibility to a civil infraction in this case.
Señor Rodríguez Islas, tengo entendido que usted va a aceptar la responsabilidad por una infracción civil en este caso.
Sí.
Yes.
And the maximum the maximum point violation would be 3 points.
Y lo máximo de los puntos serían 3 puntos.
And the maximum fine would be $215.
Y la multa máxima sería hasta $215.
Do you understand that, sir?
¿Entiende eso, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to ask you some questions about your whereabouts on the day in question would be in the city of Lansing on or about October 29th, 2017.
Entonces le voy a hacer algunas preguntas sobre su ubicación en la ciudad de Lansing y lo que pasó alrededor del 29 de octubre de 2017.
Were you there? Were you in the city of Lansing on the day in question?
¿Usted estuvo en la ciudad de Lansing en el día indicado?
Sí.
Yes. Yes.
And were you on Mount Hope Avenue and South Pennsylvania Avenue in the city of Lansing?
¿Y usted estuvo en Mount Hope y Pennsylvania Sur en la ciudad de Lansing?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. And were you driving a motor vehicle at that time?
¿Y usted estaba manejando un auto en ese momento?
Sí.
And
Yes.
were you driving carelessly in violation of the Michigan statute 257626?
¿Y usted estaba manejando de manera imprudente según la ley de Michigan 257.626?
Sí. Sí.
Yes.
So that's a yes, sir. You were driving carelessly on the day in question.
Entonces, eso es afirmativo, señor. Usted sí estaba manejando de manera imprudente en el día indicado.
Sí.
Yes.
That's a yes, sir. Okay. Any questions, Ms. Hagan Lawrence, about the factual basis or the admission of responsibility of the ticket?
No, Your Honor.
Ms.
¿Alguna
Sutter?
pregunta, señor Hagan Lawrence? No. Señor Sutter?
No.
No.
I find the admission to the ticket pursuant to 257626 to be knowing and voluntarily entered.
He determinado que su declaración en cuanto al 257.626 se hizo de manera libre y voluntariamente.
Sí.
Will you need some time to pay the $215 fine for today?
Señor, ¿usted necesita tiempo para pagar ese multa de $215?
No, si lo puedo pagar ahorita, está bien.
No, I can pay it now. That's fine.
All right, so I'm gonna have you pay at the City of Lansing Criminal Division right here on the 6th floor.
Entonces usted tiene que pagar aquí en la división penal de la ciudad de Lansing, aquí en el 6º piso.
Ujú. Sí, está bien.
Yeah, and then the Secretary of State will have its own licensing ramifications concerning your license. But if you're able to pay the fine off today, that would be great.
Y entonces en la Secretaría del Estado, ellos quizás pueden tener sus propias implicaciones con su licencia, pero si pudiera pagar la multa hoy sería bueno.
Sí.
All right.
Yes.
Anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan Lawrence in 1800294?
¿Algo más, señora Hagan Lawrence, en este caso 1800294?
No, Your Honor.
No, su señoría.
Anything else, Ms. Sutter, in the same file?
¿Algo más, señora Sutter, para el mismo caso?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
No, gracias, su
All right.
señoría.
That's all on the record on 1800294. Mr. Rodriguez Islas, have a nice day.
Eso es todo para el caso 1800294. Señor Rodríguez Islas, que tenga un buen día.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Lixie, for your assistance today.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. And Mr. Rodriguez, my court officer will be there to help you with the iPad, okay? So, I think you figured that out. All right, on the record, in docket 2103159, that's City of Lansing versus Daryl Dodd. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Dodd, who I believe is present with us via Zoom.
Correct. You are Daryl Dodd, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you can hear me all right, Mr. Dodd?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the time set for looks like I've got it as a violation of probation. And I know Mr. Dodd was seeking an attorney in this case. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, how are we proceeding in this matter?
Your Honor, I would defer to Ms. Sutter on that question. I'm not exactly sure.
Ms. Sutter?
Thank you. I did have a discussion with Mr. Dodd last week. I was appointed by our office to this case, and it is my understanding that at this time, Mr. Dodd would not like to hold a contested hearing and would plead to the violations. And I would just ask for allocution on his behalf.
All right. Mr. Dodd, is that your understanding? Is there's an admission of the violations and then Ms. Sutter will speak on your behalf as to sentencing?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and swear you in as to the violations. So I have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in regards to this file and these allegations under the penalty of perjury?
Yes,
all right.
sir.
The allegation is that under probation, you violated your terms of probation. In essence, that you tested positive for alcohol on June 9th and June 13th at Adams South. How do you plead to the allegation, or do you admit responsible to the allegation that you tested positive on June 9th and June 13th at Adams South?
Yes, sir.
All right. So with that admission as to the violation in the probation violation, summons and probation violation. Ms. Summons, Ms. Sutter, do you have, in regards to the probation violation, I'll defer to Ms. Hagan Lawrence. Do you have any comment as regard to the probation violation that's been admitted to? It sounds like we'll look to go right to sentencing, which I'm comfortable doing.
The city has no objection and nothing to add to the record, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Sutter?
I have nothing to add to the record regarding the allegations, Your Honor. I would just ask for allocution at sentencing.
All right. Are you asking that today that Mr. Dodd go back to Mr. Hannah for an updated? I've got one of June 21st, a recommendation form, but we can come back for sentencing on the probation violation.
I apologize. No, Your Honor, I do not believe a second date is necessary. The violation report isn't that old for Mr. Hannah, and he typically doesn't update them.
All right.
So if it is amenable to the court and Mrs. Hagan Lawrence, I would be fine with sentencing today.
All right, Mr. Dodd, the main issue here is the alcohol consumption during the probation violation. Are you currently working, sir?
Yes, I'm actually at work right now.
Okay, where are you working at?
Spartan Toyota Motor Mall.
Okay, what do you do there?
I am a lube technician.
Okay. Have you done any incarceration concerning this probation violation?
No, because I mean, before I got sentenced for 4 days or something like that.
Okay.
And it was way before I ended up getting on probation.
In the underlying case, Your Honor, he does have 4 days.
Yes, 4 days on the underlying case.
Yes.
All right. Here's the problem that I see is that the recommendation, the violation is due because of the alcohol testing positive, and
yes,
the recommendation is some time of incarceration for the probation violation. And I balance that against your need, of course, to stay employed and to work, because you can't go to work if you're incarcerated, correct?
Correct.
All right. And since it's my case, you and I are going to have to work this out on some level, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I think the easiest thing to do to work this out is for you not to drink and then do whatever your probation officer says to do. And that keeps you out of jail and that keeps you employed. And it sounds like that's where you want to be.
Yes, I want to be employed. Yes, sir.
Right. So the more times you come in front of me, my answer is going to be, well, you're taking away my options. So now I got to put you in jail in order for me to confirm the severity of not drinking while on probation and doing everything that you should do on probation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's not do that. Let's not see me. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, let's not drink on probation. Let's get help for whatever causes this, or let's get you through probation so you can put this behind you. But let's keep you gainfully employed at the same time, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to continue probation as ordered. Okay. I'm not ordering any jail time at this time. Okay. I'm going to suspend any jail time. You've still got a balance due, so you should work on that. But
yes,
I'm going to continue probation. I'm going to continue probation, and then if you have any type of concerns about your probation, let Mr. Hannah know, okay? Because he's the one who contacts me who violates you, and then then you and I meet. And quite frankly, Mr. Dodd, you don't want to see me, and I'd rather you working than spending time in my presence, right?
Correct.
All right. So let's do that. I'm going to continue probation, same orders of probation that we currently have. You understand the severity of drinking on probation. For you now know that next time I have very little options. So I'm trying to work with you. So let's not have a next time. Okay.
You got it, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Dodd. I have an indication here that Mr. Hannah wants you to start IOP as soon as possible.
Yes,
So
sir.
connect with him to make sure that that's in the works, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any question, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
I have nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Dodd, you're still on probation. Make sure you contact Mr. Hannah. Stay in contact with him, and good luck to you, all right?
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. All right, I don't know how to leave this breakout room.
If you tap the screen, you'll see a red button that says leave or leave meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
There it goes.
And then, Your Honor, before we start on the next probation violation hearing, I will need to have a breakout room with Mr. McGuire.
All right, so let's put Ms. Sutter and Mr. McGuire in a breakout room.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Hagan Lawrence and Ms. Sutter, we'll wait for Ms. Sutter, your client, to join us, and then we'll recall the case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're back on the record in docket 20-02390, City of Lansing versus LaMichael M. McGuire. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy City Attorney Lisa Hagan Lawrence appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. McGuire, who is present with us via the Polycom system in the jail.
And sir, you are, and you might have to help me with the pronunciation of the name, LaMichael or LaMichael McGuire?
LaMichael.
LaMichael. Thank you, sir. And you can
Yes,
hear me
sir.
out. You can hear me all right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, this is the time set for a violation of probation on the matter. How are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would defer to Ms. Sutter as to any requests that the PD's office has on this case.
All right, Ms. Sutter?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've talked with Mr. McGuire a couple of times. I was with him at his arraignment on Friday, actually. And it's Mr. McGuire's desire to hold a contested hearing in this matter. However, given the quite quick turnaround of the arraignment, in his application to our office and today's hearing, I do not believe we are able to proceed on hearing today, and I would need to request an adjournment. We were able to, as a kind of emergency, appoint my appearance for today, but given the holiday and the weekend, we were unable to meet with him prior to this Zoom hearing this morning to prepare.
Yes, that's my understanding, Ms. Sutter, that that you were appointed at the last minute on Friday. I'm understanding that we had a 3-day weekend, 3-day coming up. Ms. Hagan Lawrence, any objection to the adjournment? And we probably put it for the next date possible.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. So can we put it for next Tuesday?
Yep, next Tuesday, July 12th.
So we'll hold a contested violation hearing on July 12th at 10:30. And we'll let Mr. Hannah know that he should be in person.
Okay, and is that
Ms. Sutter, Go ahead.
And I apologize, just to clarify, Your Honor, the last person I have attached to this for the probation office is Mr. Pulaski. So that is who the new assignment is Mr. Hannah?
Well, that's who the recommendation form is from, Mr. Hannah.
It's my understanding that this is Mr. Hannah as well.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, Ms. Sutter, they just told me Mr. Pulaski does not work here anymore.
Correct, Your Honor. He left in September. However, and this is because I have this form from back in October, the only recommendation I have is from Mr. Pulaski.
Right. So there's an additional form on July 1st that you should probably have in your file.
I do not believe we've been provided it.
All right. And that is from Mr. Hannah. And so that should come from the probation department, I would assume. But Mr. Hannah is the contact person.
I'll reach out to him, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. McGuire, we'll have your hearing at 10:30 on July 12th, a week from today, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else for the record, Ms. Hagan Lawrence?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Sutter?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to be heard on bond for Mr. McGuire.
All right. I'll hear you on bond, Ms. Sutter.
Thank you, Your Honor. At the time of his arraignment on Friday, it was the previous order of Judge Alderson that Mr. McGuire be remanded until the hearing was set. Her reasoning for that was because he had missed a probation violation arraignment on October 25th of 2021. I've spoken with Mr. McGuire and I've done some research on my own, and Mr. McGuire was in custody at that time in the Ingham County Jail. He had been there since February. He was not released until later in November, and then has been in Clinton County custody since then. He was only transferred from Clinton County to us again on Thursday evening, I believe. So I understand that there is a missed hearing here. However, Mr. McGuire wasn't able to bring himself to the hearing. He was in this county's custody. Given all of that, I believe the circumstances available to the court are changed, and given that, I would request that Mr. McGuire be given a bond rather than a remand, and specifically I would request a personal recognizance bond on his behalf. He has stable housing in the city of Lansing. He'll be living with his grandmother at 5400 St. Mary's Court. He's provided a good telephone number to me that is easily available to him, and he's hoping to regain his employment at working for Amazon that he had prior to his incarceration. In reviewing his previous records, I don't find any other failures to appear other than this one where he was in custody, Your Honor.
Yeah, the FTA, the sentence was 91 days suspended upon completion of probation. That's my understanding. And then there was a fail to appear at a probation violation. Does that sound correct to you, Ms. Sutter?
That does sound correct, Your Honor. Yes, he'd missed a probation violation arraignment in October.
Any comment on bond from the city attorney?
No, Your Honor.
This is a little bit of a quandary for me because I don't know the status of the other case that he's been held on in Clinton County.
I apologize, Your Honor. I can provide some insight there. He served 6 months. Right. He's done there.
And he's done in Clinton County.
That's correct. Yeah, they went to release him and realized there was a warrant in Ingham County on this missed arraignment hearing.
I'm a little concerned about, I'm really more concerned about the appearance and the recommendation, the most current recommendation concerning Mr. McGuire. Because the recommendation would only apply to sentencing. It doesn't apply to the probation actual violation that he's going to have the hearing on. But I am concerned about a fail to appear on this level if he's just getting out now on this case after 6 months of being incarcerated. Does that
And-
make sense, Ms. Sutter?
It does, Your Honor. However, he does have a stable address where he's living with family in the city, and he does have a working phone number. And again, his failed appearance is because he was in Ingham County custody. I'm not quite sure where the failure of communication happened there, where the court had not written his appearance.
Yeah, I'm not. That was in 2021 in October.
Correct.
So we're sometime after that, but then he's been incarcerated for 6 months.
Correct. He was in Ingham County Jail from February through November, and then he has been in Clinton County serving a sentence since January 19th until June 30th.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to grant your motion for PR bond. So it's PR bond $500. Mr. McGuire, you understand that you're to be back here for the hearing on July 12th, 2022 at 10:30. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and your public defender will be here, and that's when we'll sort out the allegations that have been brought against you that you were indicated at arraignment. So that's the time set for the hearing. You're still under probation, so follow any rules of probation that still are in regards to this case. But it's incumbent. I think I'm taking a little bit of a chance because you've been incarcerated, but I don't want the fail to appear to be the reason for your incarceration because you were in jail, which is that's not exactly fair. So I'm gonna PR bond you, but be back here on July 12th, 2022 at 10:30. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else for the file, Ms. Hagan-Lawrence?
Just for clarification, Your Honor, all parties are to be in person next week at 10:30?
Yeah, let's do it live.
Okay.
Let's do it live. Ms. Sutter, any questions?
That was going to be my question as well, Your Honor.
All right, so sir, you're to be here on the 6th floor on July 12th at 10:30, and we'll go through the probation violation in person, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. So we'll see you next week in City Hall at the City Hall building. That's all for the file in 20-02-390.
Thank you, Your Honor. You're all set to go, Mr. McGuire. I'll give you a call.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sutter.
And I believe that is my appearances for the day, so I will be leaving. Have a good day, everyone.
All right, Ms. Sutter. Yeah, and then make sure you contact with Mr. Hanna or get the new recommendation as of July 1st, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm emailing him right now.
Yeah, and if you don't get it, we'll email you a copy if you need it, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, ma'am, I'm going to have you come right up here. You're right here. And so we're on the record in docket 19-02838. That's City of Lansing versus, I'll make sure I get your name, Zaina J. Cothran? Okay. And Ms. Cothran, this is the time set for an arraignment on your probation violation. So I'm going to read you the allegations so you understand them, and then I'm going to tell you some options you have in that regard, okay? This was from allegations made by probation officer Ellie Hertzer. Is actually made for Mario Ledesma. So it was signed by Ellie Hertzer for Mario Ledesma on June 20th of 2022. The order was signed by a judge on June 13th. And the allegations are this, and they're only allegations at this point. That you failed to sign order of probation as stated on April 8th, 2022, during the probation order review. That's the first allegation. That you failed to report monthly on June 2nd, 2022, which is your monthly report for your first Thursday of each month. That's the second allegation. That you failed to pay fines and costs in the amount of $314 as of June 5th. The total amount due is $1,252.48. That's the third violation. That you failed to complete alcohol education program as directed by your probation officer. That's the fourth violation. That you failed to attend victims impact panel within 60 days and provide verification to the officer, to your probation officer. That is the fifth violation. And then you failed to submit to PBT and urinalysis testing on June 11th of 2022 and June 14th of 2022 at AberHealth. And that is the sixth violation. Ma'am, do you understand the nature of the allegations that have been made?
Yes.
All right. They're just allegations at this point. You have several options before we have it. The first one is to apply to a court appointed for a public defender, okay? So that you can have somebody, a legal representation at the hearing, which is something we strongly suggest here at this court, that you should have legal representation to direct and cross and to make sure the state meets their allegations, okay? So that's one. You can retain a lawyer on your own if that's an option. You can plead guilty to the allegations. Some people do that, but my preference is to have them talk to a lawyer, or at least to go to the public defender's office to see if a lawyer is available to talk to them before they give up any rights in this matter. So this is just the arraignment to let you know what the allegations are, and then we can set it for your probation violation hearing so that you're represented by counsel. So do you think you're going to be, are you going to seek legal representation in this matter? And are you going to apply to the public defender's office?
Yes, you are.
All right. So we're going to set this for hearing. And I'm going to indicate for the file that you're seeking legal assistance. Okay. So set for PV hearing. D to contact PD for representation. I have the number of the public defender's office if you need that. Yeah, so let me write that down for you. I'll just put PD on it, but it's 517-679-2979. There you go, Daniel. Make sure they know the following date that I'm going to give you, okay? What's the date?
7/19.
So it'll be July 19th at 10:30. And my court officer will give you a copy of the notice so you know it. Make sure they know of that date, because that's when potentially they could represent you, okay? Yeah, the allegation is that you've heard the allegations. Those would be the charges that you'd be contesting, okay? Do you have any questions of me today?
No, yeah.
All right. So the big date to come back rather than get a lawyer is July 19th. That's the big date. All right.
All right.
All right. So that's all in the file of 1902838. We'll see you on July 19th. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So we're gonna go on the record in Brooklyn Alexander, 2 tickets, 20G4201151 and 21L2688421. This is a show cause on 1 ticket for $152.50 and another ticket for $152.50. Ms. Alexander has failed to appear today. There's nobody in the Zoom court or the court. This is set for 11:30. It's now 11:45. I'm going to indicate that the defendant failed to appear. The defendant has a prior FTA on May 3rd in regards to one of the files. So there's going to be a bench warrant issued, bond to be set at 20,000, I'm sorry, 2,000, 10%. And on the second speeding ticket, DFTA, bench warrant, bond set at 2,000, 10%. That's all for the record in both of these files. So we're on the record in 2 tickets, 20027772951 and 20103493774. City of Lansing versus Jarrell Littlejohn on both files. This is a time set for a show cause in the matter. It's for $76.86 on one file and $90 on the other file. This was supposed to be called at 11:30. It's now 11:47. The defendant failed to appear. I'm going to administratively close this file. That's on the parking violation, and I'm going to administratively, he failed to appear. I'm going to administratively close the expired meter. So that's all on the files of both tickets. T0027729951 and T01034934. So I'm going on the record in docket 21000708. That's City of Lansing versus Miles Julius Murphy or Julius Murphy Miles. It is Miles J. Murphy. This is the time set for a show cause on a suspended ops or allowing to drive on a suspended ops. The defendant has failed to appear. There's an outstanding balance of $474. I'm going to bench warrant. We'll set bond at 2,000, 10%. The defendant was supposed to be here at 11:30. It's now 11:49. That's all for that file. So on the record in 21-03086, the show cause on Richard Simmons, so disorderly jostling with the amount of $150, it looks like, $180. DFTA. Bench warrants authorized at $180 for, that's the balance. And I will set bond at 2010%. So the bench warrants authorized, DFTA, it was set for 11:30, it's now 11:51. That's all for the record in that file. So we're on the record in City of Lansing versus Qualis Stevenson. This is time set for a show cause hearing. It was set for 11:30. It's now 11:51. There's a balance of $192. The defendant is FTA. The court's going to issue a bench warrant. $2,000, 10% on bond. That's all on the record on the show cause for Mr. Stevenson.